Welcome to Hypothetically Sound. Today, boys, I think we're going to talk about conspiracies. But before that, I want to thank you for listening. And my name's Alec, and I'm here with.
Randy.
Kevin?
It's still Xavier.
Good awkward pauses,
Still
boys. I love
awkward.
it. So awkward, but it's all right. It's all right. And we're your hosts today. So let's just jump right into it. So, guys, conspiracies are like the what ifs, the hypotheticals of the world that everyone gets into. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
I'm
yeah. Oh, yeah.
thinking that it would be a good topic just in general, right? Let's try to stick with like Illuminati type conspiracies over like universal ones, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's for another time. Um do any of
You
you
know that
guys what's up?
you know the Earth was flat?
The earth is definitely not.
I mean, that seems like to be a conspiracy, dog.
That is conspiracy, but like do any of us really know why people think the earth is flat? Like
Because they can't be off of it or something weird.
but like if
Because
it's
we're not falling off of it.
Yeah.
but if the earth is flat, like there is at some point you would fall off of it, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was just because a basketball player said it was true. So
No,
that's why they
it's
lost.
there's a huge society, and like what's great about the society is they're constantly proving themselves wrong. Like they're doing all the scientific experiments and proving themselves wrong. That's what's great about it. Like there's a video of this dude who's like, okay, we got this cardboard box and we have these lines lined up, so if the earth is flat and he flashes a light from this certain angle, that means the earth is flat. And then if he goes up higher, that means the earth is round. He's like, okay, we're about to do it, we're about to prove everybody. Does the flat earth light? Nothing. He's like, okay, guy, raise your light a little higher, comes through. He's like, where are you raising to? Higher to the round earth, and they end the video. Like, that happens consistently in the flat earth community. Like, they'll do this experiment. They're like, I'm gonna prove myself right, and then prove themselves wrong, and it's hilarious.
I did remember reading an article that two flat earthers donated quite a bit of money to help build a machine to prove that the earth wasn't flat because it measured like gravitational pull or something. And it did the exact opposite. And I'm pretty sure like the amount they donated was like in the millions.
A lot of money's
Like,
been spent on it,
a
too.
lot of money to try to prove that they're right, just to be
But
proven
what if
wrong.
the Earth was flat, but a circle, right? Like there's a circle cut out of the circle,
So you're saying
and
it's
so it's like a donut, right? But a flat donut.
So someone used too much baking soda in their fucking cook.
Listen, now, wouldn't that technically mean that it could still be flat, but you could still go continuously without falling off? There'd be an edge, there'd be a side at some
well, it
point,
wouldn't
right?
be it wouldn't be
Yeah, I get
flat.
what you're
It would
saying.
be a
Yeah,
shape still. It wouldn't
yeah.
be flat. It would still be like it'd be donut round.
It's
You know
not
what I'm
it's
saying?
not it's not possible. It's not flat.
It's not. It's not.
Like,
It
we
would just
have
fall off.
video, like,
We've been in
proof.
space.
Right? No,
Like-
that's another conspiracy right
But
there.
but
Have
that's
we
just
been to
NASA
space?
Fucking it up. No, that is another conspiracy.
Like, there's a community out there too that doesn't believe we've been to space. That everything you see is doctored
It's fake.
imagery of a fake, like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's just fakeness to like get money.
I mean, the moon landing, there's apparently like a beer cap in the photo of it, and people couldn't understand or explain why there was a beer cap on the moon.
I do want to say
They
a
cracked
lot
the
of
cold one when they got there. What do you mean?
there are a lot of people who throw out like really intriguing things. Like the theory is that we faked it so we could win or start winning the Cold War or some shit like that. And to like give buy time, I guess. And which is plausible, right? That is plausible, and a lot of people like have nitpicked that video, like the original videos and stuff, and stated this and that. And my favorite one is when they try to argue what like gravity is like on the moon, like we've been there,
Mm-hmm.
because that's pretty valid. But um,
Oh, well,
it
sorry, go ahead.
it is probably one of the strongest conspiracies in my opinion. Just
The moon
the
landing.
Yeah, moon landing,
moon
yeah.
landing faking is one of the strongest conspiracies. Like, if one were to come out as true, besides like Area 51, that
I
would
was
be
just
the
about
one
to
I
say
believe
that. What
most.
about Area 51?
Yeah,
Like, I
I
think,
The aliens.
but like everyone knows that something's going on there. They either fucking or they got aliens or both. Okay.
Wait, slow down. Let's take that back a step. They're either
Well,
what?
What if it's not anything like that though? But that's where test tube baby science is being done, and
Cloning,
I
yeah.
mean,
the stuff that is very controversial. That's what I could see Area 51 being.
Mhm.
Definitely wouldn't don't think aliens or anything. I mean, certainly it is possible.
It's
Well, but
certainly
didn't
possible.
the government just acknowledge UFOs and
they did.
But
They
you
did.
have to understand, UFOs
UFO.
don't equal aliens.
doesn't equal
Alien.
aliens, no.
Yeah, no. A lot of times they just anything that a pilot thinks they see in the air
Right.
could be a big ass bird.
It
No
could
one
be
knows.
drone. It could be something. It could be a
They
million different
classified
things.
it as a UFO. So them
Yeah.
just saying that UFOs are real, or is
Doesn't equal
meaning like,
aliens.
yeah, sometimes we just don't know what the fuck's up there with us.
I mean, isn't that the definition of UFO, unidentified flying object or whatever?
Yeah,
Yeah,
So,
that's
I mean, hypothetically speaking, it never didn't exist. It was always existing. It was
Yeah.
always a thing.
I do believe they have acknowledged, like, because they say UFO of alien origin.
Right.
Like, I think one of the newer ones they released, like, it went too fast and at too steep of an angle to be like
Normal.
possible at the, normal or possible at the
Mhm.
time of
Mhm.
recording. It just wasn't a thing. So they're like, yeah, it seems to be of alien origin or unknown origin and stuff like that. I think Area 51, while maybe not housing aliens, I do think is a home for experimental tech, mostly bio experimental tech. That's
100%.
why they have such a huge area coordinated off, so anything that does happen doesn't get out of there. Like, I always think, like, when I think of Area 51, I think of the movie Mist, and I believe that's what's going to happen in Area 51. They're going to open a fucking portal to another dimension there, and these fucking creatures are going to come out of Area 51 and start killing shit, and all because they were doing fucking biotech and fuck some shit up.
that is fair. I do feel like they're gonna create a bio weapon or something, and it's gonna be the cause of like obviously the cause of the end of the world. But like, if there's ever like a zombie apocalypse or some bullshit, it would be from that, right?
Area 51, yep.
Honest to God, like if they're working on bio shit, like yeah, Rand's right. Or they're trying to like do something with portals for some fucking reason. Like you telling me not one scientist tried to prove that he could open up a interdimensional portal to another world,
Right.
or there's not one working on it right now or something, you know?
Right?
Like eventually it's gotta happen, and eventually someone's gonna bite. They'll be like, that's dumb as fuck, but here's money. And if they're right, then fucking God help us. If they're wrong, thank God. As simple as that.
Yeah. Get Elon Musk on it. He's got money to waste.
Yeah, money to waste. I don't really know if he.
I'm sorry, but that's used for manipulating the cryptocurrency market. Please don't,
I'm sorry.
please don't,
That's true.
All right,
Uh,
please
he
don't
doesn't
tell
even
him to
need. He
use his
doesn't.
money for anything else.
He doesn't even need money anymore, dude. He just fucking tweets. He's
True.
past that. He's.
I mean,
too
true.
power- He's too strong.
True.
He's too strong. He won't be stopped.
It's the
No,
cat girls. It's all about the cat girls.
You know what, man? If it's for the cat girls, let him have that power. Let's just be honest.
Going back to factual conspiracies, I know we talked about quickly just the moon landing. Alec did. I do agree. I think there's like a 95% chance. Like I'm one of those conspiracies. I think the moon landing was faked. I do believe we've been to space. We've been to the moon. We have satellites shit up there, all the whole nine. But I think in that instance, it was 100% faked for the main purpose of winning the Cold
Funding.
War.
Well,
We believed by winning the space war that it would deter Russia from going any further, and they would give them the fear that we had the ability to attack at any moment at a more readily available pace than they could. We could, like, I guarantee, like, images and stuff were leaked to them saying that by us making it to the moon, that means we were able to set up a satellite that would be able to release missiles to take out any nuclear weapon that Russia may send to America. And it was a smart play. Like 100% the most probably the best thing the government did if they faked it was to do that, because stopped an apocalypse. Like at some point, bombs were going to drop if that didn't happen.
Yo, that's some real shit. The real thug thing to do is go up there, take a couple pictures, leave the flag, tell no one. So when Russia wastes their time getting all the way up there, and they see the flag there, and they're broadcasting it, and they're like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And America be like, "Fuck yeah!" And then bam, and then bomb them. I was like, "That's what you get for wasting your time." Easy. Don't please. We shouldn't bomb Russia. That's a joke. Want to preface that? Yeah, like that's Trump becomes president again. I'm going to jail, boys. Oh no. So, besides like those are the clear ones, and then there's like the Illuminati, right?
Oh yeah.
One world power, or five guys that are like 60, 70 years old, probably all white, sitting in a room deciding who lives, who dies, who gets famous, who doesn't, what country wins a war, what country goes poor this year. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I believe in the Illuminati 100%.
Oh yeah,
I believe in the Illuminati, but I definitely don't think it's what people make it out to be. I think once you hit a certain like bracket in terms of how much your net value is, these people reach out to one another in order to use that influence money as to influence things, whether it be stocks, all that other stuff. But I don't, it's one of those things where you'll never know. And I mean, of course, people in this world probably want to do it, but you never be able to see it.
I do agree mostly that it's probably people like just higher ups that use their unlimited wealth to control
Essentially.
little things, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe sports events and things like that.
But it builds up.
But yeah, it does build up, and it does make differences in like the little people's lives, especially like for betting and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm. So a hypothetical question for you guys. So we're on episode 150 of this podcast. We're pulling in like 100,000 views, 200,000 views, and like, it's going nice. And all of a sudden, we all get an email at the same time that's like, "Hey guys, we want to take you to the next level." They do something to prove that they are the Illuminati, and they say, "Okay, we're going to make you rich, make you successful, powerful, but you have to leave your current life behind. Friends, everything you know, like you are going to become this persona, kind of like, like Lady Gaga, you're going to be bigger than, bigger personality, Kesha, that whole type of scenario. Would you do it?"
Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
No, I cannot. No.
Because even if you do it, by your rules, they're not saying that you can't still help the people that you used to know. You could find, with that kind of power, you could still find a way to save your mothers, your fathers, family, friends. You could still find a way to protect them and give them a good life if they were going to make us that rich.
Well, you do know Illuminati does have a, there's a belief that the Illuminati, if you turn your back on them and try to outsmart them, they kill you.
Right, and
or they kill the things that you're trying to attain.
I guess I would need more of a contract in front of me. If Illuminati flat out said you can't even help people in your past, like you can't secretly throw money in their mailbox.
That's what leave your life behind is. It's like you don't hear people go.
Yeah.
The only four would be us.
All the way down south and leave my life behind, and then you get a call up from a week later. It's like, hey guy, how you been doing? No, that's not how that works.
No. I'm not saying like that though. I'm not saying that you would call them up and make it known. Like with that kind of money, I would hire a stranger that would.
But that's that's still connecting with your life before. Like you are not allowed to contact or like in any means whatsoever. Like you're leaving that life behind, meaning you're done with that life completely.
Like you can do that stuff, but you run the risk of knowing what the Illuminati is, knowing that they just proved to you. So they did whatever it took to prove that they are real and powerful, and they proved this to you. So you're running the risk of, okay, we proved it. Now you know the possible outcomes is we take away you or your loved ones and make your life hell or dead. So you could run that risk. You say, yeah, I'm going to do it. Now, what it would be is the people that said yes to the contract, we would know each other. We would still look out for each other if we all said yes. But if someone said no, we don't ever talk to them again.
That's a whole different. So, like, my argument was going to be because then we wouldn't be able to be doing what we were doing, enjoying what we were doing. So why would you want to throw that away, regardless of how powerful or how good you are or anything like that? It's about enjoying what you're doing.
I read it as that too. Like they separated us and made us.
Oh, sorry, I didn't read it.
Right.
It was all four of us. Like they sent us all email at the same time, and they prove that they're Illuminati to go be big, like take the podcast to unspeakable levels, like change the world.
But we have to leave everyone else behind.
Yes, it would be just us four moving on, and like we don't talk to our families or anything anymore. Our life is famous.
Mine's still a no.
I mean, if it's that stern, if it's that strict, then I guess yes, it would have to be a no because we're already making money. We're already famous enough for the Illuminati to want us that I think we would be well off enough at that point anyway.
Also, I'll be honest. I'm trying to sell my soul to the devil for like a higher position or something, not fucking a
More
good
fans.
time here. I'm trying to have a good time in my eternity. You know what I'm saying?
That's something I like to talk about. I love his fucking devil theory that he wants to do. It's fucking great.
Well, okay. So like,
is it a conspiracy
Or is it a theory?
Well, technically, it is
selling your soul to the devil is a conspiracy.
Is a conspiracy. It is a conspiracy of how famous people get famous, and like they make references to it in songs and all sorts of media. Like it's a real thing.
Like the Beyonce, Nicki Minaj having different personalities type shit.
There's quote unquote rituals, like when people perform, they do like a lot of the same things, or like they'll find something that like matches another ritual that's been written somewhere on the internet, whatever. But like one time Rand asked me, it was pretty much like if the Illuminati came to you, if the devil came to you and was like, hey, your soul for fame and fortune. I personally would ask if we could negotiate the terms, and I would change the fame and fortune into like a higher position in hell. Right? Because like I feel like if I'm going to hell, or if there is one, I'm probably going, right? I feel like most humans do. And I don't want to be in some pit with millions of other people suffering. Like I want to be the nigga whipping them. So like I will sell my soul and guarantee like I can't repent or nothing, right? Like I'll guarantee there's nothing I can do in my life to somehow get up there if there's like a sure way we figure out, right? I just to go to hell, but as one of his minions and not one of his bitches, you know what I'm saying?
So just to clarify, I'm the devil. I walk up to you, Alec, and I go, hey, Alec.
Yeah.
I will make you rich and famous for your soul. You're going to turn around and say, no. I don't want to be rich.
Like, I wouldn't say it like that.
Okay, how would you say it?
I'd be like, hell no. But listen.
Okay.
All right. Instead of that, let's do this. And then I push that idea.
So you wouldn't get rich.
No, I live the same shitty life I live right now.
But when you die, you just would be
I would be in a better position than all of y'all. Yes. Okay. And like maybe he's like, you know what? You got some cojones, kid. I like you, right? He's like some big fucking meaty clackers. Second hand right here. Boom, right hand man. Like you don't know. I'm just saying, like, what if he respects it? And then I'm fucking Satan's right hand man, and we dapping up, drinking, Fireball whiskey because I feel like that's what the devil would drink, and Sprite or some 40s.
Sprite.
While we watching people suffer, and he's like, yeah, this is what I just do, and I'm like, that's dope.
Okay.
While we're sitting on our chair made of humans, of suffering souls.
Okay.
And they really suffering because I'm a big boy. You know what I'm saying? They're like, I'm back.
All right. Good to know.
All right. Yeah.
Pretty good take. I mean, it's smart of you.
Right.
I have something that's ephemeral or whatever that will end at some point. Why not have something that lasts forever?
I also feel like if you sell your soul to the devil, you are probably going to like a little bit of harsher area of hell too. You know what I'm saying? Like he wants your soul for a reason, meaning that there maybe is a chance you could repent or something, or maybe you're on the right path, or it's crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and he just wants that soul so bad that he comes, offers the deal, and then you're in hell, and he's like, "Yeah, you go in my special little pit of snakes and spiders, like big ones." You know what I'm saying?
Oh, by the
Those two
way,
get along very well.
oh yeah, they're best friends. They ran on each other's backs.
You know what, man? Who cares? It's hell. He'd be like, be friends, and they're like, okay, we're just some minions doing some shit, crawling on this nigga's face. Like, what are you gonna do, Xavier? What are you gonna do? You're gonna be like, well, this logically they're kind of enemies in nature, so this doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
and then Double will be like, oh, you got me, with the pit. Like,
Yep.
all right.
And
but
then he's gonna be like, and then make the next pit.
the next
And then that's that.
And the next pit's gonna be just gonna be 4 foot deep of water, but it's not really 4 foot, it's 6 foot. He just lied to tell you, and so there you are struggling because you thought you were gonna touch bottom, and you never did.
Exactly.
But like the
Endless
worst
pain
part
and
is
suffering.
that like just your toes are cold, like the water level of your toes is cold, but the rest is really warm, but a little too warm. You're like, oh, what's happening? It's like someone's peeing in it, and Devil's like, yep.
But what does the toes and the rest of the water being warm have to be like someone's peeing in it?
Could you imagine how okay, I don't know if you swam in the ocean deep enough, but like it's super uncomfortable when the water starts getting cold by your feet and nowhere else. But if the water is pee warm, like a guy's just pissing on you, which he is, and then your toes are really cold,
What?
you know how uncomfortable that's gonna be?
Got
Like
lost
your
for a
upper
minute there.
body's really warm, you're like just your toes. Cold as fuck.
I don't think that's all that uncomfortable.
You wanna try?
It's like being in a hot house
wanna try?
without socks on.
Wait, you're gonna create this environment for him?
It's
And
not
heat
hard.
rises,
It's
so
not hard.
naturally your feet would be colder
Okay.
than the rest of your body.
It wouldn't be hard.
Hello?
Hmm.
You just ignore. You're like, oh, I don't think it'd be that uncomfortable. I'm just getting pissed on. Really warm water. It's like a hot tub.
No, okay, you're not
My
saying
toes
you're
are
saying
cold?
like if the water was warm. You didn't physically
Oh,
say
I
I'm
said
getting
that.
pissed
I said
on.
it multiple
You
times.
said because you probably
Run
is.
it back. Please edit that. And then
Back to conspiracy theories.
technically, it's
tangent.
conspiracy.
Finish the Illuminati one. Since all y'all motherfuckers saying no, I'm gonna say yes. I'm about to be Marky Mark. Y'all the funky bunch. I'm Beyonce. You Destiny's
You're gonna
Child.
be a racist that
Bye.
punches black people in Boston?
Oof.
He a racist that punches black people in Boston?
He has, yeah, apparently.
Oof.
Then yes. I don't know if I want to be racist. I would just be punching black people. I would be just punching my peoples in the face. Like, so it's like being back in the hood. So I don't know the difference.
Rand really part of this Illuminati probably too. I mean, I was kind of for Illuminati, and he just sat back and was like, nah. It can only be one of us. I'm gonna wait till they.
What about
convince
hold on? So you said I said no to it. Randy said yes to the group one. What would you two do? I don't think you answered, or I talked over you.
I mean, I would if I couldn't help my family and friends, and they were just gonna kill and fuck up everyone I knew, and then fuck up my career. Probably not, because like I said, I think we're already making enough money. If Illuminati wants us, we're doing something right without them.
There's never such thing as too much money. Look at Jeff Bezos.
Look at Jeff Bezos.
No, there's such thing as too much money.
Bezos?
I don't give a fuck, dude. He rode in a penis-shaped rocket, dude. All right? He's better than me.
More money, more problems.
He went to space in a dildo. All right.
Did you?
I wish.
Okay.
Do you think he's part of the Illuminati?
Probably, yeah.
Again, I think
I know he's
everyone who
part of a
reaches certain
specific club
monetary-
that never mind.
a monetary like net value, I'm pretty sure is inevitably a part of it.
Yeah.
Because it's the people that you associate yourself with that, is going to be a certain group of people. And just naturally, you would be kind of forced into, those same agendas, those same opinions being pushed on you by who you're surrounding yourself with. It's kind of inevitable.
And so your answer is no, then, Xavier?
I wouldn't, no, like I said, because you stop doing what's making you happy. It's like having parents that tell you to do something that you don't want to do.
I don't know
I mean,
what that's like.
you're gonna do it, but you're not gonna be happy.
I'll
versus
convince
doing something
Alec.
that you thoroughly enjoy doing.
What'd you say, Red?
I'm gonna convince you to come with me.
Hold on. All I'm gonna say here is that, like, technically, if they reached out to us, and they're like, "Y'all want to join us?" That wasn't a question.
It's
Let's
more
just
of a
let's just
telling
keep it a
us.
buck.
They're telling
It's not a
us.
question.
That is true. If
They
they
revealed themselves.
they
They're like,
reveal
"Hey,
themselves and prove it.
you want to join us?" And one of us goes, "No," and they pull out a gun.
And then there's only 3 of us left.
No, they
Right?
give us a chance. They give us a chance to finish that and be like, "No, now that you mention it, yeah."
So,
No,
then,
that,
so it's a trick question because you either join
Damn
or
right it is, Kevin. We're preparing.
No.
welcome to Illuminati. That's the thing. Like we would be the last case scenario is us dying. They gonna do everything they can to get their way, and if you say no, then they gonna kill you because you already know too much.
right. Well, then
Things though,
that's
right?
it.
Like, would you fear saying no? Because what if there's another stipulation like you either join or we destroy everything that you've done thus far,
Mm.
right? You know, obviously, if they have that much power, that's definitely something that they could do at the drop of a dime.
Mm-hmm.
So, you
How
know,
long have we been on that ride?
150
How long?
episodes.
150
100
episodes, and it takes us like what 5 months to record 3. So
So we're doing it for years. Well, fuck it then. Yeah, just take my career away at that point. If I get to
you'd be
live still,
happy. You get to live still.
if I get to
Yeah.
live still and still have my family around,
Oh
yeah.
hell no!
Yeah.
Hold on! If they're gonna destroy our careers instead of killing us, they're gonna do it in the way that we also probably end up in jail. And y'all see my face? You see this baby face?
I
Yeah, I'm
know.
getting fucked. They're
We
gonna
talked about
try.
it.
They're
Yeah.
gonna try. All
Not
right.
metaphorically either.
No, they straight up my butthole destroyed, guaranteed.
So it's not a try. They're
Why
going
do you
to
almost sound
succeed.
excited?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Anyways, and I don't want that. I really don't. And so I would ask them very politely what they mean, and I was like, "Can you please be specific? Like, how would you ruin my career? Who would you kill?"
Good questions.
Right? And then they'd be like, "Everyone." And I was like, "Well, I hate everyone, so maybe,
It's okay.
maybe like you can do that anyways." Just kidding. Just kidding.
So when people are watching this, we all know Alec A is going to hell. He wants everybody to die, and he just wants to be Satan's right hand man. We got it.
Hell yeah, truck yeah, brother.
Got you figured out.
100%. 100%. Thank you. Thank you for that recap.
Can,
Wow.
can you
Did you have
name anybody that you think was an Illuminati and Illuminati did wreck? Can you think of anybody famous that you think Illuminati had a negative impact on?
I think
what about the
political
most recent basketball player with the airplane or with the helicopter?
Kobe Bryant?
Kobe. I do not think
Weird.
that's the pilot's fault. 100%. 100% the pilot's
But
fault.
was it still based off of Illuminati? Did Illuminati
Okay,
set
yeah,
that up?
but what would that have to do with the Oh, okay, so it's the pilot's fault. But
Yeah, you're the
what
one who
if-
brought up Kobe. Yeah, what does that have to do with the
No, but
Illuminati?
what I'm saying is, yeah, that's an example of it.
No,
what
I would
would-
say no, just for the simple fact that like he had options to not take the helicopter. Like they even told him not to take the helicopter that day, but the pilot was like, I can do it, and he was like, okay, and they took it. Like so, he could have drove to the basketball camp, but like he was hard headed and wanted to take the helicopter.
I don't know, I just think that, you know, little just too coincidental that
Yeah.
it's such an easy way out for that, and that's why I'm saying those types of scenarios just seem to stick out the most to me.
I
You know,
think
versus
it's
saying,
mostly.
"Oh, he just got in a car accident" or something like that, where
I mean, it worked
that
with
that is
Princess
by
Diana.
by default going to be higher suspect scenario
Mm-hmm.
rather than something like the helicopter.
One that I think is plausible is Marilyn Monroe and JFK.
Mm.
Like if Illuminati's real and they were trying to get rid of people, I think Marilyn Monroe and JFK were two people that they might have done it to. There's theories that DMX was the victim of Illuminati because he spoke about them like not joining them. He like after he lost his like fame, he would talk about the Illuminati not joining, how they were trying to ruin his life. So that's how a lot of. But
What about someone like Tupac then or Biggie?
Mm.
No?
No, that's just a
This is a
case of
conspiracy theory. No, this is a
okay.
conspiracy theory. There's a theory that I don't want to say names because like, what if he watches and then he's like, "Bah, bah."
Ugg
He's like, I'm
plight.
gonna do to you, I'm gonna do to you what I did to Easy E, and then I'm gonna shoot you, and it's like, whoa.
It rhymes with Ugg Pike and
And
Pine
Kitty,
Idioms.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right. So these homies like devised a plan to kill them, due to their like surge of popularity and also like fear of not be like them leaving music
Mhm.
and not being able to produce, and then it would be easy way like you see when artists die today,
Someone
like
died today?
No,
when artists
like
die.
today, as
Oh,
in
You're
oh.
so dumb sometimes.
I didn't
Holy
hear
shit.
you. I couldn't.
You're
You know what?
crazy. You're
You know what?
crazy. You're
Crazy Island.
crazy.
But see, here's the thing though. Like Juice World,
Uh-huh.
when you say people like artists that died today, like he was starting to pop off. Like he was starting to.
He Juice WRLD was popping before he died, and then
But
after.
that's what I mean. Like
But like he died, and then like there's always a surge of people who like tune into his music or like silent fans and stands and all that come out, and it's like a surge in their shit, right?
yeah,
And it
yeah.
was the same with Tupac and Biggie, especially with them being like, "Oh, who's the better rapper? Like, who's the best of the best?" At the time.
Well,
And
I personally think Biggie was the retaliation hit for Tupac. Uh, Tupac's people thought Biggie people did it, while
Mhm.
I am a firm believer that a Mr. Knight was upset that Tupac was going to be leaving hip hop to kind of run the same route as Ice Cube and Will Smith. He was already starting to do it in movies, and I think he was going to keep getting more and more roles, and was going to leave hip hop for good. And Mr. Knight was not about people leaving him and the Bloods, uh, documented proof out there that he beats people ass. He do whatever it takes to stay in charge and powerful, and losing your top artists, especially the top artists in the world at the time, of all time almost, uh, was not okay for him. And like Alex said, when you pass away, this was a known thing, your music blows up even more. So like by getting rid of Tupac, it was an easy way to keep the money coming up, and like he kind of probably pushed people into the fact that yeah, it had to be Diddy and Biggie's people that did it. Because there's a
oh,
theory out there that Biggie wasn't supposed to be the target, that it was actually Diddy. It was supposed to be Diddy's car that they were targeting, and then ended up being Biggie in the car, not Diddy, because they like switched cars on the way out.
Hmm.
all I'm saying is two people profited very, very heavily off the deaths of them.
Oh yeah.
And I believe there was one time at a club they bump into each other, they made a joke, and then they went, unless.
Let's really do it.
And like at the time, it wouldn't be hard to complete that unless and make it look like some other things.
Right.
But there's
Yeah,
other.
especially.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, especially because, yeah, technology definitely wasn't there
And it's
for a
not
lot of
like
things.
all artist deaths are like that. Like some people say that Mac Miller or Michael Jackson, I've heard, were victims of such scandalous acts.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got, like Pop Smoke, who was robbed by a 15-year-old and shot.
Right. Or Nipsey.
Or Nipsey, who was,
You
just
know.
shot up while walking. Like that's
Selena, who was killed by
well,
her maid or her manager or whatever.
yeah. There is actually the Nipsey does have one because people think they did a hit on him because he was trying to like do
Save the
good for the
community.
community. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a rapper that died recently on Instagram Live for spray painting over a Nipsey memorial.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
got shot on live. Yeah.
Wow.
crazy. He was talking to
Um,
somebody, and see that you hear pop pop. Yeah.
Oh, geez. Huh.
What's crazy about the Nipsey thing, and like this is a little off topic, this is some little social justice stuff, is like the fact that it was like retaliation to trying to make the community better. That's the issue with gangs nowadays. Like that's not what gangs were started for. Gangs were started because black children weren't allowed into boys and girls clubs. And so a way to protect their community, especially in Compton and stuff like that, these gangs were formed to be a sense of community for the children to help them go to school. And then it like mutated as the dude that started the Crips started the Bloods because he got kicked out, and then became a fucking what gangs are today. And it's only devolved into where we're at now, where it's constant shootings because they said whatever they said and you didn't like it, or they walked past you and didn't make eye contact with you, or made eye contact. Like, it's so dumb. Like, but that's just a rant about gangs for a different time.
Oh yeah.
There's other conspiracies that one that I see a lot when anytime a big event happens, whether it's a big shooting or a riot or whatever it is that during that time, because the world still goes on, you know, while all these terrible things are happening, unfortunately, and that the government sets them up or sets, you know, puts like stepping stones to place it in motion so they could cover up things that they're trying to pass or do elsewhere that wouldn't make the like average news, or will distract a normal person from like seeing any of it, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
on like social media and stuff, because it's going to be flooded with everything that's happening right there.
Right.
And like I think that one's also super plausible
I can give
in
you
some scenarios.
I can give you an example of one. It's
Go for it.
kind of easier to prove. Boston Marathon bombers. There's paper trail that. So you know when they're trying to figure out terrorist cells, they send in undercover people, and in doing so, they give them information they didn't have otherwise. So they're kind of making them terrorists. This is known information. They give them examples of bombs and things like that. These two brothers they thought had potential to be terrorists because of activity on the internet and stuff like that. And so, like, there's theories out there that uh, Boston bombing happened because the government fed them this information and these ideas and then lost track of them. Uh, and but to speak on the like it's passing bills and stuff, it happens all like I think it was after like Orlando, around Orlando there was a the internet bills that were going on to for the internet. I can't remember what bill it was, but it's like to make the internet not free anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a couple shootings that happened around that time when the bill was being up to pass or not again. And you notice there's things that happen. Like it lends to be a conspiracy. Things happen weirdly around times when big events or big bills that would change the course of humanity happen. Like restricting internet would change the course of humanity. And like so you have like oil spills and stuff like that that happen. So it's a government, man.
I mean,
Weird
I mean,
being.
you can take that even to the level of war, right? So war equals money,
Oh yeah.
you know, a ton of money, and that when that brings you to the government and the idea of 9/11. You know, was that a conspiracy or not? You know, it people say Bush knew it was going to happen and all this and that, and it's like, well, could it have been done so that we could go to war and make money because we were in debt at the time?
People say the same thing about Pearl Harbor,
Mm-hmm.
saying that we set up the bombing to get into the war.
Right.
Which I wholeheartedly believe. I don't believe Bush did it. I don't think he had, like, honestly, I don't think Bush was bright enough to do it. I think he was a patsy. I personally believe most presidents are patsies that are controlled by other forms of government, people that are in the government.
Yeah.
That's just my personal belief. It's a figurehead to speak. That's what you want. You want an articulate person that can rally. That's why Trump won. He could rally. That's why Obama won. He could rally. What you want.
True.
But But no, like 9/11, I definitely believe was an inside job. There's just too many coincidences that they decided to run a a field test of a scenario exactly like 9/11 happening on 9/11. And so when
Mhm.
reports that these planes were missing, they thought it was part of the drill they were running. Like it's just weird. And like we can get into the melting of iron with fuel, jet fuel, and thing like that. I don't care what anybody says. I don't think that's it's just it so much. There's so much to it. So much. I've watched so much YouTube
That one,
conspiracy
yeah, that one's a really,
videos.
that one's definitely a really deep one.
Rest
There's
in
all
peace to
kinds of stuff.
YouTube, by the way. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, oh, so many
It's
good
kind
videos.
of suspect that they took all those videos off of YouTube as well.
Did they?
Yeah,
Yep.
you can't watch any conspiracy theory videos anymore. They take like soon as they find them, they take them down.
Yep.
Oh,
Because it was such a big platform to spread them,
Yep.
and that's the big thing there.
It happened
Oh,
after Sandy Hook. The too many complaints, like rightly so. Too many people making nasty videos about Sandy Hook
oh,
that they had
yeah,
to just nip it in the butt there.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta do it though. I mean, you have a really powerful platform. It's probably smarter to not cause a wildfire, instead try to help prevent it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Um, another big one, I think, earlier, just running all the way back, Xavier's talking Illuminati's influence on like sports people and like Kobe dying and stuff. But I think more often than not, it's political figures or people in the limelight at the time.
But does that not make them? That doesn't not make them Illuminati. Again, it's those people who are in those particular
I
positions.
I think like example MLK, and like I don't think it was just a civil rights thing, or them rallying black people to stop like a civil war or whatever, right? To kill like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. I think like part of it is that they were approached and offered a way to like, or were offered a chance to join, but they would have to switch what like they're kind of the position, not completely, but in a better way that they are a way they thought was better. Maybe even potentially just quit their position, and they said no, and that led to them whispering in someone's ear, going to the CIA or whoever the fuck assassinated them, and getting someone there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's probably as simple as like they approached Malcolm X and told him they need him to tone down the violence, and they approached Martin Luther King and said, uh, "We'll get you," because segregation wasn't going to always work. Like people in power know segregation wasn't always going to work. It was going to go away at some point, uh, because you can make other forms of segregation without having segregation be a thing. Uh, and so they probably reached Martin Luther King and was like, "Hey, stop being so progressive. Like, reel in your people, get them to conform to a 10 to 15-year timeline. And by the 90s, everything will be settled and you guys will feel a lot better about yourselves." And of course, like, I don't think there was any way they would say yes to either of those, obviously.
I agree.
Other people would, hence, like, Black Messiah, the movie. If you guys haven't watched that, totally worth a watch. Fantastic.
It is about CIA conspiracy as well. Man.
Hmm.
CIA taking down the Black Panthers, which is a really conspiracy, but some people like to argue it.
That's a fantastic movie.
It's a very good movie. It's just yeah. So, and maybe like even with JFK, like that's one of the biggest names, like
Hmm.
maybe with him too. Maybe he just didn't like Princess Diana. If you want to, like, if they're everywhere, like they just
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to conform to what the Illuminati laid out, and then they decided like that's that.
And I think that comes down to it a lot is the people, like when you look at like JFK, MLK, and all of them. I think the issue that Illuminati had, if they're real and if they controlled everything, was time frame. These figures were interrupting their time frame they had for everything. Like I said, they were going to get rid of segregation on their own time. but JFK was advancing it, and MLK is advancing it. I personally believe the mafia killed JFK more than Illuminati, uh, just because that's how he got into office, was through the mafia. So, but definitely plays a part into it. Time frame.
There's also a theory that the Illuminati's headquarters is in an underground city underneath Denver airport.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Why such a specific location?
Yeah.
Okay, so the theorists cite that the airport's unusually large size is distance from the Denver city center, Masonic and like alleged satanic symbols that they put in it, as well as a set of murals which include the depictions of war and death. So they think design choice mostly and like just the location of it would be the hints to where it's at.
Yeah, they can go deeper there in case of some time of apocalyptic thing.
Because most main airports are in the city. Like, bam.
Let's just dig under the ground and find out. Dig a tunnel.
I wonder how many people have tried that. Because there are some fanatics out there about the Illuminati and conspiracies, and like,
Dude,
You-
there's crazy tunnels that people have dug.
right?
too.
You can't tell me that there's not someone out there that started like 100 miles away or some absurd number away. Like, I won't be caught if I dig from here, and are digging a tunnel down and trying to see if something happens. They probably end up crashing because they don't know how to reinforce the tunnel.
Is that? I mean, yeah, it's 100% happened. I mean, what about the drug kingpin that like made it out of prison by a tunnel?
Oh yeah,
They had like electric, railroads in there and all kinds of shit. I mean, it's it's definitely possible.
El Chapo?
El
Chapo?
Chapo.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. But I mean, to that grand of a scale, that's what you got to wonder.
Yeah,
It's definitely not impossible. All these things are certainly possible. It's a matter of,
yeah.
do you have enough people to make it happen? Because that's really what it all comes down to. Influence
Here's a
mass
question
amounts of people.
on top of what you're saying, because technology's come to a whole new level, resources are
Mhm.
changed. You take a group like anonymous, blah, blah, blah.
Anonymous.
Thank you.
And then enemy.
Are they part of Illuminati, or are they a separate entity? And how come, if they are separate, how come they haven't went after Illuminati to like expose them like they do everything else?
Because Anonymous isn't that
You don't know.
powerful.
And I think that they are pretty powerful. I mean, they reach quite a large population of
I
people.
I think Anonymous could be a part of the Illuminati,
Yeah.
or
Certainly.
like it's a little. I also think it'll be a little bit harder to get like the emails of someone who has been in the Illuminati, but they have gone for big names. But they also go for names that are harming like society as a whole, like
Mhm.
children and stuff as well.
Mm,
Mhm.
So like, I'm not saying that Illuminati ain't, like the little black book and stuff ain't a thing,
right.
right?
Mhm.
I'm just saying like it's easier to prove it from someone who doesn't have those connections. Like for all we know, they could be working up something fucking dirty
Hmm.
on someone big. That,
Hmm.
but at the same time, I'm sure like if they tried, someone's watching them too.
Right. And they're just
Right.
Like
gonna cover it up.
it's easier one way than the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like no one knows who is an anonymous. So like if something happened to one of them, we wouldn't ever know.
Ever. Yeah.
And I think
Right.
like the issue becomes too is like we found a little black book like for sexual predators and stuff like that, and it becomes of it's hearsay. Like just because someone writes a name in a book, does that make that person guilty? And that's what would happen. Anonymous would post it, and the people who truly believe in them would believe it. But then it would get easily discredited just because there's a name there doesn't mean they've done anything. And that is just what comes down to without like physical and like even today you can't even do video proof because of deepfakes. Like it's so hard to prove anything nowadays that unless it's proven by science almost. And even then, it's like, oh, it's not hard to disprove science.
Be
Right.
there
You
firsthand. But
You know what
again,
I? Oh, my bad.
oh, no, I was just gonna say, when like kind of what you were saying before about the anonymous. A good example of what they do though is sway people's opinions, right? Or present things to them in a way that makes them feel a certain way.
Hmm.
So, and that again does definitely lead me to believe that they're probably a part of something like the Illuminati. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where you'll never know. And you'll never know if any of the Illuminati is even real.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it definitely is a very, very strong concept of money, power, and control, the thing that everybody wants. So, you could almost misconstrue any sort of entity that is applying that as being a part of Illuminati.
And do they even put people in the Illuminati without even telling you? Like, do they
Right.
just put you on a path and you never know you're part of Illuminati your whole
But
life
you're
because
just, yeah,
you're just there. You're just
you're
part
just
of it.
doing what you do, right?
Right. Right.
It's true.
Mhm.
So
That
as
is fair.
episode winds down, I have like one last theory, the biggest theory in the world to me, at least. I want to talk about this in its own episode, uh, eventually down the road, and that's paranormal uh, entities.
Ooh,
We'll just
ooh.
make it quick and simple. Do you guys think paranormal entities are real? Ghosts, spirits, demons? Do you believe they are real?
Yes.
Yes.
I I'm on the fence about it. Me and my brother, back when he was a little bit younger, we used to do some crazy stuff to try to find out if it was real, to
All
find
right.
out if that stuff
I
existed.
am so curious, but
Yeah.
I will not ask for.
What?
No, I can't. I'd rather save it for the episode, so
Okay.
so it's not all mixed up because we got things planned in
Yeah.
between.
Okay.
But I will not forget this, and I
Oh, here
must
it
know.
comes.
Five
I think I
minutes
know
later.
where
What
I
was he
think I
talking
know
about
where
again?
I think I know where he's going with this.
There's questions. I have a lot of questions, and I'm ready to call y'all a bunch of names in that
Why?
order
Why?
because y'all
Questions, then names.
the way you made it sound like it means you doing the most, which
Right? You're doing too
Wait,
much to
what?
try to provoke ghosts, dog. They
yeah.
real.
No,
They gonna
Anyway,
get
listen,
you.
We did some nerdy shit. I
we
mean,
did. We went to cemeteries. We went
we did a
to
bunch of stuff.
known haunted sites. We
that's
we we did
Not
the
not even known as allegedly haunted sites.
allegedly
Nah.
We've
allegedly haunted.
tried recording things. We've
Yep.
tried other doodads and miscellaneous things that are supposed to help you achieve the goal of experiencing paranormal.
So that's why I say I'm on the fence though, because sometimes it felt like there were some legit things, but then there's other times where we
Definitely
would sit there for hours and nothing happened.
not a thing.
So
Well,
I think. Hold on, I'm sorry. I know we should probably not, but I think if 1 out of 10 times something did happen,
mhm.
right,
Is
and
that
like
enough?
I personally think that's enough because like if I I don't think like any of these entities or whatever need to be on a fucking schedule, right? That's all I'm saying. Like that's why like some people like you'll go somewhere and like a bunch of people will have the same experience, but like another group of people who've been there at different times, right? Won't.
Okay.
Or individuals will be like, "Oh yeah, I saw this," and then another individual will say the same thing, and they've never talked before in their lives, you know?
Right. Well, and they all say, I
So,
mean,
so
every go ahead.
you're essentially saying if one group experienced something out of 10 going to an area, that one group's claim
No,
of it being haunted or having,
no,
paranormal activity is creditable or true?
I'm saying like the way you guys did it, right? Like you're going to
Mhm.
places and stuff. Like who says that? Like yeah, your experience, like maybe the activity wasn't there that day, right?
Right.
Like maybe certain conditions, electricity in the air or like something, right? Just like
Mhm.
anything that could be off that stops it. And I think like just because it didn't happen to you doesn't like disprove it. Because you
No,
said you had really legit stuff, right?
I mean, we did it like when we hit this time, this error and or not error, but this moment in our lives, we were doing it day in, day out. We were doing it like almost every day.
Anytime we could find an
Yeah.
opportunity to.
I mean, it was in like months in a row we were doing stuff like that. And yeah, there were times where we thought we legit heard something or saw something. But I think it's based off of kind of what you're saying at the same time. Like you have to believe in it for it to really actually happen to you too. If your mind's not willing to go down that road, you're never gonna see it. You're just never gonna see it.
There's
And I
also like a double-edged sword there, though, right? Because if you let your mind go down that road, then you know misconstrued everything that you experience as being a paranormal,
Mhm.
right.
situation or anything like that. So it's
I
definitely an interesting thing.
I do have a friend that has always wanted to see something super paranormal, right?
Hmm.
And there has been times where people say they've heard or seen something when she legitimately just wasn't there. She is like an anti-ghost machine, right?
Hmm.
And like w- anytime someone's with her, they don't experience thing when they go to places that they felt like they experienced things, you know?
Hmm.
So
Man,
like maybe it's just the person. Like
Right.
maybe like you just don't attract shit, right?
Hmm.
Because I know there's other people like even with kids say some of the
That lead
scariest fucking shit, right?
that leads me to which I'm gonna save for the episode, but my kind of opinion or take on paranormal and why I think it's real. I don't think it's exactly what we may think it is, but something very similar,
I'm so
which is
excited
gonna
for
be
this episode.
a really fun episode, I
Can
think.
we do
Oh,
something cool for the episode? Like
here's
I'm actually at Xavier's house and or Xavier's over here and we both have Ouija boards and we do
Nah,
something
you,
like
hell
you can
no.
suck
I
it
don't
in.
exciting.
fuck with that. I don't fuck with that.
Well, let's
However,
see
Hey,
if you don't
getting
believe
back,
it.
you've seen the
hey, this is
recent,
a
Netflix
conversation for
movies, right? Where they're all taking place in Discord calls and they're doing
yeah.
ghost
Right,
shit.
Yeah, we
right.
Yeah.
gotta kill someone first.
What-
No, that
No,
Yeah, we gotta kill someone and then bury them and be like, don't tell nobody. And then like 3 months later, we do the episode, and that's when the ghost comes back to kill us.
Yeah, she joins the call and we can't kick her out.
Yeah, it's
so
like,
anyone watching this, please don't ever think about anything that Alex says.
no.
He says a lot of things that just
He doesn't
don't.
mean it.
Yeah, he means well. He wears his
Yes.
heart on his shoulder.
Yeah. He's the
He's
type of
he's
guy.
just a little creative would be the best way to put that.
yeah.
I think all
Yeah.
this means is that in the future, when we pop off, hypothetic sound is going to become hypothetically sound ghost hunters,
Right.
and we
Oh
gonna
yeah,
go
100%,
spend the night in some haunted places that like
hundred
Ghost
percent.
Adventures have went to and shit, and see if we can get some stuff.
All right.
That's the dream, boys.
It is definitely the dream. I do
All you
have one
guys,
last theory. Oh, I'm sorry.
all you guys better not chicken out if it ever happens. Just
Oh,
saying that.
I am. Fuck that shit. One last theory. It is about the way that we perceive the world. It kind of involved the ghost thing, right? Kids say they see the darndest things. They talk to themselves. You know, you have imaginary friends growing up. Everyone does. And one of the theories is that inside the water there's a chemical to essentially brainwash us to not see the world as it really is. That's why a lot of adults grow up without the same imagine. Actually, all adults don't have the same imagination as kids. That's why
I think it's
kids say
false.
they see things or talk to
Definitely
things all
false.
the time. Think that's false?
Yeah, I definitely think it's false.
I
100%.
also think it's false, but
They can't even stop. They can't even fix half the problems in this world, and you think they have the ability to mind control people? I mean, why the fuck wouldn't everything be that they want to happen already have
I mean,
happened?
hold
Everything
on,
else in
pause,
between.
pause. We're just assuming that the people who put the drugs in the water give a shit about what's happening in the world if it doesn't affect them.
Oh, true. What if they're just like, fuck these guys?
They're
Here
like,
you go.
what if our comprehension of the world that they want us to see and be a part of, and the world that we could be seeing or should be seeing, like how do we know that that won't like somehow ruin their power?
Right. And
That
that's one
we
of those things right there, because like, you said that we're seeing, right? Like, is that a hypothetical or like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like you know what I'm saying? Like actually see, or are you talking about like mentally see?
how
both
we
how we view the world, like maybe things that we see or hear. Like I said,
Interesting.
view the world completely different than we do. Like as adults.
but is that really just because we just lose our imagination?
It's
Agent,
possible. It
you know,
is 100% possible. Like kids do have that like childish spark that makes them see the world different. Like they
right.
haven't been introduced to the evil, so they don't understand it yet, you know? And like that could be it too. It's just you grow up and you just realize that the world isn't what you think it should be.
Right. I mean, they at some point grow up and then they see Alec naked, and then they're like, "Man, there's a lot of evil in this world."
Nigga, you look like Keemstar. Don't talk to me like that.
No, I see.
I think that, I think
Also,
there's a psychology thing, or not a psychology, but like a brain thing behind it, right? I mean, like as you're growing up when you're younger, what does your brain do for stimulation, right? Like versus now, once you have the angst of being an adult and society and, exposure to all the things that actually exist, I think by the way our brains work, that's probably why that happens, why you lose your imagination.
but don't you
And
think like some adults would benefit from that?
I think we
That
do. I think we all escape into video games, right? Like,
Mhm.
I think we're fortunate to still have enough imagination that when we're playing WoW, when we're playing Final Fantasy, when we're playing these fighting games, that there's moments where we're like, we're really engulfed in that world.
But are
And
you using your imagination or is it being created for you
it's kind of
through
like
the
reading a
game?
book. I
As
don't
yeah,
I
as
think
I
it's,
don't
artificial imagination by
Hmm.
playing the game. The game
yeah,
is the artificial imagination.
yeah. But it does help us create our own world too. You know, I think it
Yeah.
helps
Right.
you. You walk away from it, you're like, damn, I wish I could be in that game. What would I do if I was in that game? Well, and you think about
gets in car while thinking about GTA.
it.
Like
That's a bad
I don't
answer.
I personally don't think that theory is that far off. Like the world's chaotic. Like
Yeah.
nothing happens for a reason. Everything is randomly happen. Everything happens randomly. You can't control it. There's no rhyme or reason, and that's why religion is such a popular thing. It gives order to chaos. By believing in God and everything, you have this being that you believe is controlling what's happening, and it's happening for a reason, so it gives you solitude. I personally don't. I believe the world's chaotic, like I said. So believing that the government came up or someone came up with a way to slowly dampen a portion of your brain that sees things a certain way, yeah, I could totally believe that because religion's a thing. Like once we got to a point where religion wasn't the dominant uh factor in people's lives, you had to come up with a new way to control. That's what religion was for the longest time. Like there was a point in religion where uh, it was still in Latin, and the common people couldn't read Latin, only the rich could. And so, to go learn the Bible, you had to go to essentially a concert and listen to the pastor read it to you. And so, you were being fed whatever the pastor wanted you to know. And so, like, it's a means of controlling. And so, yeah, why wouldn't the government have found a new, easier way to control? I think it's plausible. I don't think it's happened, but I think it's plausible.
All right.
Yeah. I definitely think that loss of imagination is the byproduct of what we have created for a lifestyle of man.
Hmm.
Um,
Death and
that's why I think that's why some people, or a good portion of people, still latch on to things, whether it's books. For example, back to the anime episode, like anime and stuff like that, is because you find those bits and pieces of that imagination that you've lost in those products, in those things, whether it's games, books, TV, podcasts, even these.
Mhm.
It's there's fuel to keep your mind going, I guess.
That's fair. That's fair. I agree.
Well,
well, I hate to be that guy, but I think it's time for the podcast to end. My puppy needs to go pee, and you're gonna start hearing him whining, and we don't want that in the podcast. So
Yeah, the pancast.
podcast, sellout time, sellout time. So I don't know if you guys have seen the post on Facebook. If you follow us on Facebook, see, he's starting to bark. But we are on literally every major podcast site possible: Spotify, Apple, Player FM, Google, you name it. We are on it. On every single one, we are under Hypothetically Sound. every podcast we do is recorded and put on YouTube so you can watch us and see our pretty faces. We sell merch. That's our booty.com/merch. Xavier's
Also,
wearing it.
I just don't do merch. If you look right behind Brandy, you see that pretty little drawing? That was me.
He also
I
makes
make posters and shit too.
We stream on YouTube. Kevin has his own Twitch account, Crazy Allergies TV on Twitch.
Don't say nothing, Alec. Don't say nothing, Alec.
Once
I
we
will
hit
agree.
100 listeners, he will be streaming. We are at
Yes.
like 70, so
Are
we're
we?
almost there. Yeah,
Yes.
on all platforms, we're at like 70 through the
Well,
first episode.
To those
And that's a
listeners,
lot,
too.
so thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you
a
very
lot.
much.
And please don't hesitate to leave some comments. Tell us what you'd like to hear from us, what we could potentially be better at, because we're new to it. And if anybody, has some, editing skills and things like that and want to, help us out, we would be more than welcome to talk to you and see what you can do for us. You're muted, Alec, if you're talking.
I wasn't muted. I just wasn't saying anything.
Oh,
It's
it sounded
sellout.
like you were
It's
talking.
sellout time. Not
It's still part of it.
not. I mean,
Come get a job time. No, but thank you guys. I thought this was a fun one. A lot of cool conversations. I'm excited
I'm gonna blow
for
your guys' mind next time.
episode. So episode 4 is going to be conspiracy theories, where we each bring a conspiracy theory to the table that we like.
This is conspiracy theories now, you fool. It's just regular theories. We're talking universal theories.
Don't know what that means. Okay.
Universal, me neither. We're talking about theories about time and space and shit. You know what I'm saying?
There's just so much going on. We had to make 2 episodes.
So
where we talk
scientific
about it.
theories,
Yeah, sure. Let's go scientific theories, man.
which is borderline conspiracy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But the
Either
thing,
way,
what's
next
the
episode's
difference
theories.
between a theory and a
We're just not naming it conspiracy. Man, next episode is theories. Be there, all right?
yeah
It'll be
what he
great.
said.
I'll blow your fucking mind. I swear it. I promise you.
And I think next week you're gonna get a little bit spicier tones from us too. I think there's gonna be some big disagreements about some of these theories people bring.
Yeah,
to the
anything
table.
Kevin says is dumb as fuck.
See what I'm
I
talking
already
about?
know.
It's
already
already
know.
happening.
You're gonna say something dumb. You're gonna say
What
something
you
real
mean?
dumb. If you lose an arm in a different universe, you're gonna feel it in this one.
Hey, that's the thing.
Shut up. You stupid.
You still
End the podcast.
I'm about to whip out some Steins Gate.
Oh hell.
We love you guys. Have a good one.
Oh no, wait, no,
Peace
don't
out.
do it. Don't put my baby tantrum in there. No.